People say families evolve the way coastlines do, slowly then all at once when a storm hits. I used to think change arrived kindly if you worked hard and loved harder. Today proves it can rip straight through the center of a life you thought was steady. I'm Mara Alvarez, 42, a former computer science teacher in Porto, who freelances from cafes with a scuffed old laptop I refuse to replace. My independence is small but real. A condo deed in my name, a savings folder with boring file names, a habit of backing up anything important twice. The storm finds me in the Jardim da Cordoaria, sun bright on stone, jasmine drifting over benches. Rafael, my husband of 18 years, drops to one knee by the same fountain where he once whispered, "We're a team." Only now his arm is around a woman who could pass for a student of mine. She squeals when the ring flashes. The scene is elegant, rehearsed, impossible. I walk forward because my legs decide for me. Raphael, my voice sounds careful, like I'm testing ice. He turns. Fear flickers, then hardens into something practiced. "Mara," he says flatly, "this is Bruna." I'm his wife, I tell her, and the words don't break me. They land. Bruna looks stricken. "You said you were divorced." "I'm planning it," he answers, eyes snapping back to me. "You're not in the life I'm building." He lets the last word hang. "You feel outdated." There's the hook and the bruise, not unloved, obsolete. If you were me, what would you do? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. Tiago and Leia arrive with ice creams melting onto their wrists. My son's jaw goes iron. My daughter blinks fast like she's deleting a file she never meant to open. Raphael mutters he'll explain later, the way he has promised for months while late meetings multiplied, and his transport company, Atlante Transit, grew too sleek for our modest routines. We walk home in silence. At the building door, Leah squeezes my hand once like she's passing me a key. I move through the house on muscle memory, shoes lined, keys in the blue bowl, phone on the counter, like I've done every evening since the kids were toddlers, and Raphael hustled invoices at the kitchen table. Back then, he celebrated tiny contracts with pastel de nata and cheap Vinho Verde, and I printed certificates for his first drivers on our sputtering inkjet. We were broke and buoyant. Success changed the furniture first, then his hours, then his tone. He began saying, "scale," and "partners." He waved off the pension fund paperwork I asked about, and he laughed when I flagged a duplicate transfer in our joint account. "Accounting lag, Professor." I let it go because his smile kept promising later. Tonight, I don't ask for later. I pack suits, cufflinks, the watch his executive friend gifted him when Atlante won the Meridian Lines contract. I stack boxes by the door. Then I pull down the plain archive box from the wardrobe shelf, the one I started months ago when that bank notification didn't match the statement PDF I'd saved. Printed manifests, airdropped photos of pallets labeled one thing, scanned as another. A USB with file trees I mirrored to cloud backups dressed as recipe photos. It isn't dramatic. It's quiet, like sharpening a pencil. At 9:47, headlights sweep the curtains. Keys scrape the lock, then stop at the barricade of his life. "What is this?" His voice fills the hall. "Boundaries," I say, and context. He shoulders through and sees the box on the coffee table. "Mara, don't do theater. Open it." He reads fast, the way he always has in a crisis. Color drains. "You don't understand what you're looking at." "I understand enough," I answer. "It looks like Atlante pays itself from its own employees. It looks like falsified manifests that align too neatly with Meridian's shipping windows. It looks like a man who needs a younger audience because a careful one asks questions. He offers money first, then pity, then a speech about my routine life and his vision. I listen until I'm finished listening. "There are duplicates," I tell him. "If anything happens to me or these files, the rest moves." "To who?" "People who keep receipts." He stares like he's finally seeing the laptop always in my tote, the meticulous file names, the envelopes labeled with bland words like utilities and warranties that are not only utilities and warranties. For a second, his mouth softens, like he remembers the fountain when it meant us. Then his phone vibrates. The moment dies. "This isn't over," he says. "It's over," I answer. What comes next is something else. After he slams the door, Leah pads down the hall, sits, and leans into me until our shoulders touch. Tiago stands guard in the doorway, taller than I realized yesterday. My phone buzzes on the counter, a bank SMS I set to trigger on any out-of-pattern transfers, and beneath it an email auto-reply from Atlante's finance inbox I wrote to myself from his tablet months ago to test access. By morning, the house feels less like a home and more like an evidence locker. His suitcases still block the entry, a barricade of polished leather and pressed shirts. Tiago eats cereal silently at the counter, jaw working like a machine, while Leah scrolls her phone in loops, thumbs shaking. Neither asks when their father is coming back. The silence is answer enough. I move through rooms collecting what belongs to him: razors, cufflinks, golf gloves, the bottle of cologne he started wearing when Atlante's contracts went international. Each item lands by the door like punctuation on a sentence I should have written months ago. My hands tremble only once, when I fold the tie he wore at our wedding. I press it flat until the shaking stops. On the coffee table, the archive box waits. Inside, pension fund withdrawals disguised as equipment upgrades, cargo manifests altered in neat columns, offshore wire transfers routed through shells with names like Blue Marlin Holdings. I didn't mean to become an archivist of betrayal, but every slip I noticed, every email accounting lag excuse he offered, I saved, small crumbs built into a trail. At 10:15, his voice cuts the still air. "What the hell is this?" He's back, shoulders squared, eyes darting from the stacked suitcases to the open box. "Boundaries," I repeat, steady this time, "and receipts." He rifles through the papers, color draining. "You don't understand." "This isn't theft, it's leverage. Meridian expects margins. Meridian expects ghosts on their books, and you gave them our employees' pensions." I keep my tone even, the way I used to with failing students, firm, undeniable. "This isn't leverage, it's fraud." He tries another mask, soft pity. "Mara, you're brilliant with code but naive about scale. You think routine matters in this world? You're outdated." The word again, sharper now, but it doesn't pierce. I lean forward. "There are duplicates." His head snaps up. "What?" "These aren't the only copies." I nod toward the USB drive tucked back in the box. "Everything here exists twice over with names that don't look suspicious. If anything happens to me or if this box disappears, the rest moves." "To who?" His voice is low, measured. "People who keep receipts," I answer, refusing detail. The bluff works because it isn't entirely a bluff. Cloud folders sit disguised under titles like Recipe Ideas and PTA Flyers. Nuno, my former student-turned-tech shop owner, has access codes I slipped him under the pretext of testing encryption. Redundancy isn't paranoia, it's survival. Raphael exhales hard, frustration curling his lip. "You'll blow up everything. Our house, the children's lives. Do you want them dragged into scandal?" "They're already in it," I reply. "They saw you propose to Bruna while my ring still sits on my hand." For a moment, I see the man who once balanced Tiago on his shoulders at San Juan fireworks, who carried Leah home asleep after her first concert, but then the phone in his pocket buzzes, and that man vanishes. He straightens, voice hard. "This isn't over." I meet his gaze. It's over. What comes next is something else. He slams the door so hard the windows rattle. Tiago appears in the doorway, arms crossed, trying to look unshaken. Leah slips her hand into mine, whispering, "He won't stop, will he?" I squeeze back, no answer, because she's right. He won't. That night, I sit at the desk, uploading another encrypted set of files to cloud storage, naming the folder Laundry Schedules. A ping confirms the transfer. Outside, tires hiss against wet pavement, a car idling too long near our building. I watch taillights linger, then fade. My chest tightens. The storm isn't retreating, it's circling. The next afternoon, the storm stops circling and knocks on the door. Not Raphael. His number lights up my phone instead, the screen vibrating across the table where I grade a student's coding exercise. I almost let it ring out, but Tiago glances from the sofa, concern in his eyes. I swipe. Mara, Raphael's voice is clipped, rushed. Someone broke into my car. The box, it's gone. I sit up straighter. Gone? Window smashed. I stopped for gas. When I came back, the box was missing. What have you done? My pulse kicks. Why would I steal what I already had? You think I staged a smash and grab? Silence, then panic edging his voice. Then who did? Who else knows? That's the question that chills me. Who else is watching us? By evening, my answer arrives in the form of a text from an unknown number. The box was just the beginning. Protect your children. Meet me tomorrow at noon. Café Cedro. Come alone. I lock the screen fast, but not fast enough. Leah notices. Mom? What's wrong? Spam, I lie too quickly. Tiago frowns. He's 18. He knows better. That night, after they're asleep, I call my sister. Joanna, can the kids stay with you tomorrow? Just for the day, she doesn't ask why, just says, of course. Relief threads through me, though it feels fragile as paper. Morning comes too soon. After dropping Tiago and Leia at Joanna's apartment, I drive to a corner tech shop in Bonfim. Nuno, one of my brightest former students, greets me with an easy grin that fades when he sees my face. Professor Mara? What's wrong? I need something discreet. To record a conversation without being noticed, he doesn't flinch. From under the counter, he produces a fountain pen. It writes, but it also records 6 hours of audio. Sensitive mic won't be detected. I test it on a napkin. Ink flows smooth. A normal pen to anyone else. To me, a lifeline. At noon, I sit at Café Cedro, back to the wall, clear view of both entrance and exit. I order water, palms damp. A minute later, a woman slides into the seat across from me without asking. She's older, maybe 50, hair pulled tight, suit sharp, eyes that scan, catalog, judge. Mara Alvarez, she says softly, you look exactly like your photographs. My chest tightens. You know me. I don't know you. She leans forward. Name's Clara Vela. I worked for your husband. 15 years. Until he decided I was inconvenient, I blink. Worked where? Atlante. I was his CFO. Her words land heavy. CFO? Yet I never heard her name. She reaches into her bag, pulls out a slim tablet, slides it toward me. On screen, a diagram of shell companies and offshore transfers, far more complex than the files I collected. The contents of your box were interesting, but incomplete, she says. I can show you the rest. Her gaze sharpens. But only if we trust each other. Raphael isn't just stealing from pensions. He's laundering money for dangerous people. The cafe noise hums around us, cups clinking, a baby fussing, but her words slice through. Dangerous people. I grip the recording pen harder, its weight reassuring in my hand. My voice stays level. If you have proof, why come to me? Because as his wife, your testimony makes you credible. Together, we can bring him down. I study her face, looking for cracks. She's composed, maybe too composed, tomorrow. She wants me to meet her again, but I already feel the walls closing. When I leave the cafe, the jasmine-scented air feels heavier than before. I slip the pen into my pocket and keep walking, every step shadowed by the thought, what exactly have I stepped into? That night, I don't sleep. Every car that slows on our street makes my breath hitch. Near midnight, my phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number again. Clara Vela isn't who she says. Check Atlante's records. There's never been a CFO by that name. My heart stumbles. I open the company filings I saved months ago. CFO listed Paulo Mendez, steady name across 12 years. No Clara, no Vela. The texter follows up. Want proof? Look in Raphael's desk, bottom right drawer, false panel. I hesitate. Breaking into his office feels like stepping into a crime scene. But curiosity and fear outweigh caution. By dawn, I'm there, pushing the latch I'd once discovered by accident when looking for a pen. The drawer clicks open. Inside, a slim red leather notebook, handwritten columns of dates, amounts, figures larger than any I'd imagined. Next to each, initials, most unfamiliar. One repeats like a drumbeat. C.R. Camila Rios. I photograph every page with shaking hands. Millions moved, not thousands. Transactions tied to names that feel like shadows. If Clara is Camila, she's not an ex-CFO. She's something else. I send the images to Nuno with a single line. Check these names. His reply pings 20 minutes later. Mara. Some of these belong to known associates of Meridian Lines. Organized crime flags. You need to be careful. The room spins. Meridian isn't just a shady partner. It's a machine, and Raphael's company has been its gear. At 11:04, my phone rings. His name flashes. Against my better judgment, I answer. Mara, Raphael's voice is tight, urgent. We need to talk. In my office. 1 hour. I pocket the ledger, slip the pen recorder into my bag, and drive. He's waiting behind his massive desk, looking like a man who hasn't slept. I met someone yesterday, I say evenly. Clara. Or should I say Camila? He flinches. Where did you hear that name? She approached me. Claimed she was your CFO. She gave me diagrams, stories, and I checked. She never worked at Atlante. Raphael locks the door, pacing like a trapped animal. You need to stay away from her. She's not an accountant. She's Meridian's enforcer. She keeps people like me in line. I lean forward. Then why is her name all over your secret ledger? His face drains. You found it. I found more than that. She isn't warning me, Raphael. She's circling, and she's using me as bait. He rubs his scarred wrist, a gesture I've never seen before. Camila plays rough. She doesn't negotiate. Meridian put her on me 5 years ago. When I tried to slow transfers, she left me a warning. Said next time it would be the children. My throat tightens. Tiago and Leia? He nods, voice breaking. That's why I plan to disappear with Bruna. It wasn't just lust, it was leverage. Her father's connections could shield us. I almost laugh, the sound brittle. Shield you? You proposed in public while still married. That wasn't shielding, that was detonating. Before he can answer, my phone vibrates. A photo message. Joanna and the kids on her sofa, terrified, a figure shadowing them. Caption, warehouse at the port. 1 hour, bring all copies, come alone or they die. I show Raphael. His face collapses. They know. And just like that, whatever war we've been fighting between us dissolves. We have one enemy now. The drive to the port feels endless, though it's barely 20 minutes. I grip the steering wheel so hard my knuckles ache. Beside me, Raphael makes frantic calls to former police contacts, an army buddy, anyone who might answer. Each attempt ends in silence. They've cut us off, he mutters, voice hollow. They're thorough. I keep my eyes on the road. Then we improvise. The old warehouse looms ahead, its corrugated walls scarred by years of salt air. I park in the shadow of a crane, forcing my breath into something steady. Tell me about Camila, I whisper. What are we walking into? She's cold, efficient. She won't hesitate if she thinks we're playing games, Raphael says, staring at the building like it might swallow him whole. But she follows orders. The real decision-maker is Mateo Duarte, Meridian's head. I've never seen him in person. A chill spreads through me. Then he's waiting inside. My phone buzzes again. Now, side entrance. We exchange a final look, resentment, fear, and a fragile thread of trust. Then we step into the lion's den. The door creaks open to reveal Camila herself, pistol loose in her hand like it's an extension of her arm. Her smile is thin, right on time. Hands where I can see them, two men frisk us, rough and efficient. They take my phone, Raphael's wallet, even the pen from my pocket. For a moment, I fear they'll discover it's more than a pen, but they toss it aside carelessly into a tray with our keys. Inside, Camilla orders. The warehouse is dim, lit by hanging bulbs that sway in the draft. Containers rise like walls, creating a maze. We're herded to an open space at the center, and there, my knees nearly buckle, are my children. Leah's face blotchy from crying, Tiago's jaw set in stubborn defiance. Joanna sits with them, eyes wide but steady, clutching their hands. A guard looms behind, gun grazing his thigh. "Mom!" Leah cries, but the guard silences her with a glance. "Family reunion later," Camilla says coolly. She gestures toward the shadows. "He's here." From behind a container, a man steps forward. Older, silver hair, immaculate suit. His presence alone demands obedience. Mateo Duarte. "Rafael," he says smoothly, like greeting an old colleague. I'm disappointed. We had a useful arrangement. "You threatened my children," Rafael spits. Duarte shrugs. Circumstances change. Loose ends must be tied. His eyes flick to me. "And you must be Mara." The loyal wife who suddenly isn't so loyal. I lift my chin. "I never agreed to your arrangement." "Let them go. They have nothing to do with this." "On the contrary," Duarte says, voice soft but sharp. "The moment you kept records, they became involved." He motions. Camilla hands him Raphael's hidden file. "Now, let's see what you've gathered." As Duarte thumbs through the pages, I catch Raphael's eye. He glances at his watch, then at the children. A silent message. "Stall until 6. My voice cuts the silence. "That's not everything." Duarte looks up, expression tightening. "Explain." "What you're holding is incomplete," I say, steady despite my racing pulse. "The full files are secured elsewhere. If anything happens to us, they're released automatically." Duarte chuckles, though his eyes sharpen. The classic insurance policy. "Where are the rest?" "Safe," I answer. "And they stay that way only if my family leaves unharmed." He studies me, gaze probing. "You're bluffing." "Try me," I reply. A flicker of something, respect, crosses his face. Then he turns to Raphael. "Is she telling the truth?" Raphael meets my eyes. For once, he doesn't flinch. "She doesn't bluff." Duarte nods slowly. "Very well." Then we negotiate. You give me the location. I let them live. I steel myself, aware every second that passes is precious. Help or disaster will come soon. The air in the warehouse feels heavy, thick with the smell of rust and old oil. Duarte leans back slightly, as if savoring his control, while Camilla's pistol never wavers from my chest. "You'll tell me where the rest of the evidence is," Duarte says evenly. "Now." I steady my breathing, remembering Raphael's glance at the watch. Stall until 6. Every second counts. "You already know where it is," I say, folding my arms though my knees threaten to buckle. "You're holding one copy. The others are safe, and they will surface if I don't return." Duarte tilts his head, studying me as if I'm a puzzle. Such composure. "Raphael, you underestimated your wife." Camilla interrupts, voice sharp. "We don't need games." "Take one of the children. Make her talk." "No." I step forward instinctively, but a guard shoves me back. Leah gasps, Tiago shouts, and Joanna holds them tight, whispering fiercely for them to stay still. "Enough," Duarte says with a raised hand. "Violence attracts attention." "We're not savages." He gestures to Raphael instead, but perhaps their father will be more forthcoming. Raphael swallows hard. "Let them go." "I'll stay." "Take me as collateral until you have everything," Tiago's voice cracks. "Dad, no!" Duarte's smile is thin, noble, predictable, but I require more assurance. He turns his gaze to me. Perhaps one child stays. Just until we verify the evidence, Leia whispers. I'll do it, Mom. I'll stay. Her courage guts me. I shake my head violently. Absolutely not. Camilla smirks. The girl has more backbone than either of you. I draw a breath, forcing steel into my voice. You want something better than Raphael's half-broken company? I can offer you a laundering system cleaner, faster, harder to trace. A digital fund with international reach. It's a gamble, pure fabrication pulled from scraps of reports and my old career. But Duarte's eyes spark with interest. Oh? University networks, tech startups, online portfolios, layers so deep even your best auditors couldn't follow, I say, words tumbling with rehearsed confidence. You think too small. I can take you global. He steps closer, intrigued. And why would you betray your own husband like this? Because I want my family alive more than I want him safe, I answer coldly. Business is business. Duarte studies me, expression unreadable. Then he gestures for a laptop. One of the guards drags over a battered machine. Show me. As I sit, the recording pen flashes in my mind, abandoned in a tray by the door. If only. Still, I begin typing, creating diagrams, layering fake numbers, weaving jargon like camouflage. My fingers tremble, but the screen fills with convincing complexity. This fund runs through 17 countries, I explain, fabricating as I go. By the time money arrives, it's invisible. Duarte leans over my shoulder, fascinated. Camilla hovers nearby, suspicion etched across her face. Then a crash echoes outside the warehouse, sharp, metallic. All heads turn. One of the guards touches his earpiece, murmuring urgently. Camilla stiffens. Movement outside, multiple signals Duarte's calm fractures. Secure them. Prepare to move. I glance at Raphael. His watch reads 5:47. The deadline is close. The crash reverberates through the warehouse, followed by distant shouting. My pulse hammers in my ears. Duarte snaps orders in rapid Portuguese-accented Spanish. Form a line. Move them to the rear exit. Now. Guards jerk us to our feet. Joanna stumbles but keeps her arms tight around the children. Raphael strains against his captor, fury twisting his face. Leave them alone, he yells, earning a brutal shove that nearly knocks him to the concrete. Camila presses the cold muzzle of her gun against my temple. One sound, Senora, and your daughter bleeds. I force my voice steady. If you hurt her, everything I promised dies with me. Duarte hesitates, calculating. He knows I'm bluffing about the digital fund, but he also knows I might not be. His eyes flick between me and the laptop screen, still glowing with the fabricated diagrams. Another crash, closer this time. A shout, "Federal police! Drop your weapons!" Chaos erupts. Smoke grenades hiss, filling the air with choking white. Flashlights slice through the haze. The guards open fire, the deafening sound ricocheting off steel containers. "On the ground!" someone screams, but no one listens. I seize the moment. "Leia, Tiago, down!" I shove them toward Joanna, covering them with my body. Bullets spark against metal only feet away. Raphael lunges at the guard holding him, years of anger fueling his strength. They crash into a crate, the weapon clattering across the floor. Camilla curses, yanking me upright as her grip falters in the smoke. For a split second, her attention wavers. Instinct takes over. I slam my elbow backward into her ribs. She gasps, loosening her hold, and I twist free, scrambling toward the children. Through the haze, I glimpse Duarte dragging Leah by the arm, shielding himself with her small frame. My heart seizes. "Stop!" I scream. "Take me instead!" But he doesn't stop. He fires a warning shot into the air. One step closer and she dies. Time slows. The tactical team floods in from both sides. Red laser sights crisscross the smoke. Duarte's face is pale but resolute, his pistol pressed against my daughter's temple. Then I hear Raphael's voice, hoarse but steady, cutting through the chaos. "Let her go. Take me. I'll give you everything. All around us, the gunfire fades into tense silence. Every eye fixes on Duarte and the terrified girl in his grip. The second hand on Raphael's watch clicks towards 6 o'clock. The warehouse feels suspended in a terrible stillness. Smoke swirling, laser sights trembling on Duarte's chest. Leia's wide eyes glisten with tears as his arm tightens around her neck. 6 o'clock. Raphael's shout cuts the silence. His voice is raw, commanding. If I don't check in, a federal team moves in with everything they've got. Let her go, Duarte. You're out of time. Duarte's jaw clenches. He scans the shadows where armored figures shift, weapons aimed, waiting for the signal. You bluff, he says, but the edge in his voice betrays doubt. No bluff, Raphael answers. You hear them out there? The perimeter's sealed. You won't leave this port alive with a child in your arms. Camilla, crouched near a shipping crate with her gun, hisses, Boss, we need to move. Now. Her urgency frays the last of Duarte's composure. In the chaos of indecision, Leia remembers. The self-defense drills I made her practice. The stomp and twist escape. I see the thought flicker in her eyes and my breath catches. Then she acts. Heel to Duarte's instep, sharp elbow to his ribs. His grip falters, his pistol jerks skyward. A gunshot cracks, harmless into steel above. Down! I scream, diving forward. 2 federal officers surge through the smoke, tackling Duarte. His gun skitters across the floor as they pin him, face ground into the concrete. Camilla fires wildly, covering her retreat toward the back exit. Sparks rain from ricochets, forcing officers to scatter. Raphael seizes the fallen weapon and levels it with a steadiness that startles me. He fires once. Camilla stumbles, her pistol flying from her hand, but she manages to disappear into the haze, clutching her bleeding arm. The tactical commander barks orders. Hostages secure! Suspects down. I gather Leia and Tiago, pulling them into my arms, their small bodies trembling against me. Joanna clasps my shoulder, tears streaming silently. Across the room, 2 paramedics are already kneeling by Raphael. The recoil from his stolen shot tore open his still healing wound, crimson blooming across his shirt. He winces but stays conscious, eyes locked on me as if asking a question he doesn't dare speak aloud. And then Duarte, cuffed and bleeding from a split lip, starts to laugh, low, mirthless, chilling. You think this ends with me? You have no idea who really runs this network. The words hang in the air, heavier than the smoke. Relief floods me that my children are safe, but his laughter tells me the danger is far from over. Sirens wail outside the port as Duarte is dragged away, still laughing like a man who knows more cards remain hidden. My arms tighten protectively around Leia and Tiago, though my eyes keep darting to Raphael. He lies pale on the concrete, paramedics working fast to stem the blood. Stay with me, I whisper, taking his free hand. His grip is weak but deliberate, as if anchoring me to him. The federal prosecutor, a woman in a dark suit with storm-gray eyes, strides toward us. Helena Montero? Yes. My voice shakes. I'm Prosecutor Carvalho. Your husband gave us everything. Names, ledgers, transcripts. His cooperation is why we're here. She nods toward Duarte's crumpled figure. But he's right. This operation is larger than him, larger than Diaz. Even I stiffen. What do you mean? Carvalho lowers her voice. The shell companies point to an international syndicate. Duarte was just a manager. The true architect hasn't surfaced yet, which means... She glances at my children. Your family is still a target. Leah clutches my arm, trembling. Tiago asks in a small voice, So it's not over? No, I admit, pressing my lips to his hair. But we're together. That matters. Raphael coughs, pulling my attention. Helena. His eyes glisten with something I haven't seen in years, unvarnished truth. I failed you. I failed them. But let me do one thing right. You've already done enough, I whisper fiercely. You fought for us tonight. That counts. He shakes his head weakly. It won't be enough if they come back. Carvalho needs every document, every file. Don't hold back, not even for me. I realize what he's saying. Hand everything over, even if it condemns him further. Carvalho interrupts gently. He's right. If we don't dismantle the network fully, they'll rebuild. I'll need your testimony, Mrs. Montero. All of it. My throat tightens. Testimony means headlines, courtrooms, dragging our children through public humiliation. But hiding the truth means keeping Duarte's shadow over us forever. Mom, Lucas says suddenly from the doorway, breathless. He must have run from the cars outside. His eyes land on Raphael, then on me. Whatever it takes, do it. We can't live like this again. The decision crystallizes. I nod slowly. You'll have everything, prosecutor. Every document, every copy, every name. Carvalho's eyes soften with respect. Good. Then we'll put them all away. But Duarte's laughter still echoes in my ears, promising the fight isn't finished. 6 months later, the port warehouse feels like a memory from another lifetime. The trial transcripts, the endless testimony, the cameras outside the courthouse, those belong to the woman I was forced to become, not the one I am today. Now I stand in front of a chalkboard, my fingers dusted white, explaining loops and data structures to a room full of eager students. Returning to teaching has given me something I thought was gone forever: purpose without fear. When class ends, I pack my things into a worn leather satchel, a gift from Lucas, and head out into the late afternoon sun. Raphael is not beside me. He sits in a federal prison 2 hours away, serving a reduced sentence for cooperating fully. I visit monthly, sometimes with the children, sometimes alone. Our conversations are stripped of pretense now. We talk about Leia's debate team victories, Tiago's new obsession with coding, Lucas's choice to study international law. Once he asked me if I could forgive him. I told him forgiveness is not a single act but a long road. He nodded, understanding more than I expected. Life has not returned to what it was. It can't. Our house is gone, sold to cover restitution. We rent a small apartment above my sister Joanna's shop, where the smell of fresh bread drifts through the floorboards each morning. Leia decorates her walls with debate trophies. Tiago fills notebooks with algorithms, and Lucas drops by on weekends to practice mock trials with his siblings as his jury. Tonight, when I return home, the kitchen table is set with candles and mismatched plates. Surprise, Joanna says, smiling, as the children appear from behind her, holding a small wrapped box. Inside is a fountain pen, heavy and elegant, my initials etched into the barrel. For your first book, Leah explains, eyes shining, about everything you taught us, that words can protect, that truth can change things. Emotion tightens my throat. I pull them close, whispering against their hair. You're my true legacy, not what was lost, but what we are building. Later, as I sit on the balcony, city lights twinkling beyond, my phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Duarte talked. The network isn't finished. Be ready. For a moment, old fear flickers. Then I grip the new pen in my hand, feeling its weight. Whatever storms return, I know this. I am no longer outdated, no longer silent. I am Helena Montero, mother, teacher, survivor, and I will not be broken again.